Hi guys, and welcome back to What We Eat in a Week. So, what do we have this week? This was the beef and onion casserole that I made. This will be out on Wednesday. I'll explain in a minute. Can't remember what potatoes they're called now. Bummy neck, top of my head. I can't remember. Hasselback potatoes and tender stem. A simple homemade chips, egg and sausage. Nice and simple. Steve made a simple spag bol this night. He's been helping me loads, bless his little heart. This night was crispy belly pork. I've missed belly pork. Some roast potatoes in the air fryer, cooked underneath the belly pork so that the fat dripped on them, and some rabbit food. Steve made curry this night. He used the Mayflower because even the kids like that, so bonus. So we all had the same thing this night. Caitlin, of course, picked the mushrooms out. He left them big so she could find them. And then we had a salad. So we're on Sunday, so I'm making some chocolate toffee bars. So it's got like a, not as moist as a brownie, but it tastes like a brownie bottom. And then it's got a layer of caramel, and then it's got a layer of usually milk chocolate. But when Steve went and grabbed a couple of bits while he was visiting his dad, the kids were playing up, so yeah, he forgot to get the milk chocolate, so I ended up using white, and it turned out just fine. So I'm showing you this recipe. The recipe has already been done, but it was right at the beginning of my channel, I think, so I will link that video. But it's such a simple recipe. Obviously it's done in 2 stages. Well, 3 if you include the last bit, but I mean, that literally takes a couple of minutes. One thing I do try to stick to is the actual measurements when it comes to baking. I don't stick to anything really when I'm cooking, but baking, yeah. And this is one of the kids' favourites. You can see it holds a little bit more flour than a brownie, but that's what it tastes like. I'll link the size of the tin that I used and the recipe underneath in the description box if anyone wants to try it. It's so good, especially for those people out there that are like me and my kids that have got a sweet tooth. I did this first because it's hot caramel and such. You're going to need it in the fridge to properly set up ready for tea time. So this was the first job on the list. So this is really one of the first times I've done a pudding, and it wasn't a full roast dinner. Well, not by my standards, but sort of in a while. Yeah, it took some doing. I don't think things are going to go back to the way they were. This leg is still as it was. There's not been any improvement, so I don't know. So just give that a good mix through. You can do this with a stand mixer. But I mean, if I didn't bother with a stand mixer, you probably don't have to. because if I can take a shortcut I will. So just mix it up until it's well mixed, and I put a drop of milk in just to loosen it up a tad. So it was about a tablespoon. And I found my air fryer liners, which don't fit my air fryer, in my cupboard, and I thought, I wonder if they'll fit in there. And look at that, perfect. Absolutely spot on it was. So I'll be using them from now on. So make sure this is just evenly spread out. So this was cooked on 170°C. And in my oven, it took 40 minutes. And I had it in the centre of the oven. Maybe just a little bit higher. You can see it's in my recipe book. I believe the original recipe was Rachel Allen from Ireland. And this was a few years ago, well, more than a few years ago now. Over 10 years ago I got this recipe. And it definitely hits all the right spots in this house. So butter, condensed milk, this is for the caramel. A couple of tablespoons of syrup. Don't matter about the lumps in the caster sugar because this is going on the hob. So I'm not worried about the lumps in this. It is supposed to have toasted sliced hazelnuts in this, but obviously I can't do that because of Caitlin, so we just left them out. Oh, anyone, just while I'm doing this, don't leave your caramel, just constantly stir it, guys. It will eventually come to. Steve noticed last night that there's a what do you call it, recall for Tesco's own chocolate dream bars because they've been contaminated with nuts. Just for anyone who hasn't seen that notice that come up last night. So the Tesco version of Mars bars, for anybody out there that's got a nut allergy that does buy them, because Caitlin eats them. Luckily I ain't got none in the fridge. I've got the Sainsbury's version. So the caramel's there, you can see how thick I've made it. So that's how thick it is there, but when it cools down, it's going to get thicker. And you need it like that for a bar. Now I used to double the caramel so it had a thick layer of caramel. But that was just me being a pig. You really don't need to do that. And again, just spread this out evenly. So before you add the chocolate on top, and you don't need to pre-melt it or anything, let this stand for about 5 minutes so that the caramel gets like a skin on top where it sets a little bit. That way your chocolate's not going to drop through. So all I've done after about 5 minutes is just place some squares of chocolate, look, and let them melt from the heat from the caramel and the cake. And then all you've got to do is just carefully and lightly spread out your chocolate. Don't press them into the caramel when you put them on there or anything. Just place them on top. And it's as easy as that. And then it went into the fridge when it cooled down enough. And stayed there until it set up. I do keep this in the fridge. Just to make sure that it stays nice and firm. Wow, I'm talking a lot, aren't I, today? Sure, Paley. So Steve wants to do next week's Sunday dinner. I've put gammon on the shopping. What do you reckon, guys? Shall I let him? It's not going to be like a full Sunday roast, but he wants to do the dinner. Let me know in the comments if you think I should let Steve do it. And obviously he's going to have to record doing it. If you want to see Steve, see what Steve comes up with help. Verbally. So I'm just doing some vegetables. Some carrots. Some sweetheart cabbage, I think, and which one it was. This was an all day jobby again. But it was worth it. Really enjoyed Sunday dinner, and the roast potatoes. Yum. I'm leaning. The arms are on the thing. I've had enough. I ain't got to the meat yet and I've had enough. After each part I sit down. So it does make it easier, but the problem is it makes it longer to get it sorted. So that's why Steve's been helping out. So I'm just doing some roast potatoes. No mashed potatoes today. I asked the kids if they wanted mash. And the first thing out of Amy's mouth was how much cheese you're going to put in it. So I took mash off the menu. I think that girl's got a cheese addiction. This week on Wednesday is not the shopping haul. That'll be Friday. We don't need anything yet. So I'm obviously, like anybody else, I'm not going to order just for the sake of putting the video out. It don't make sense and it's just a bit daft really. But it will be on Friday and it's a Sainsbury's. It's quite a large one. Because the last 2-week haul, I didn't get that much, to be perfectly honest. Right, all I'm doing here is making a pocket to put the stuffing in and then I'm going to wrap it in some smoked bacon. And this bacon was from Lidl and it wasn't very good. But you make do. Got the job done. So yeah, it'll be on Friday. So Wednesday, you can decide whether you want a day in the life or I can start the Casserole classics that I wanted to do. I need to start the school puddings series 2 as well, because the first one was enjoyed by a lot of people, I think. Brought back some memories. So I might team them up actually. Have a classic casserole with a classic pudding, school pudding. Let me know what you think in the comments anyway. It's your guys' channel as much as it is mine. You watch it. So feedback is always welcome. So I've finished doing the chicken. There was a bit of stuffing left, so I just made a couple of chicken balls. So I've run out of coating for my roast potato, so I'm having to make some. I just thought I'd show you how I did it. So that was semolina, and obviously this is panko. That is the main thing. The semolina and the panko is what's going to make them crispy. And I've put in some oregano. Remember, this is a big pot. Some parsley. Celery salt. I mean, I season this to our taste. And it's handy to have this pot already done. This is mixed herbs. Don't know why I didn't show it, but it's mixed herbs. And that's garlic. And the next one, not the next one, but this is onion powder. Don't know why it gets clumps in like that when it's sealed. Drives me batty. Some onion powder and then chip spice. Either chip spice or wedge spice I use. Trust me, it works. When I get the lid off, it does. Some lumps in that one as well, and that was sealed. I tell you. There's not as much chip spice as it looks there. Then some more semolina on the top of that, and then we're going to really mix that up really well. Get the lid on. This is just an old dough egg bits jar that I've had for years, and I just keep it in this. This coating's going to do me for about 10 lots of roast potatoes probably. Make sure it's shook up really well, and you'll notice once it's all shook up, I'm all shook up. Couldn't help myself, sorry. There'll be a gap. Oh, it's cut it out. Anyway, there was a gap at the top, and I just put some more semolina in and topped it up. So I sprayed a bit of oil in the bowl. This is for the people that are new, who haven't watched me do them before. Coat them. See, it's so handy to have it all made rather than pulling out all the ingredients all the time, every time you want to make them. That put me off doing them, to be perfectly honest. So I always cut my roast potatoes so it's got as many long edges as possible, because I want as much surface area to crisp up as possible. So I was saying, yeah. So the haul will be Friday, and that's Sainsbury's. And then let me know whether you want a day in the life or you want me to start the slow cooker classic on Wednesday, and whether or not you want the old school puddings from when we was all at school. I have done season 1 of that if anyone's interested, and if you're interested in watching them and having a blast from the past, just let us know and we can link that for you underneath your comment. I did a series of school puddings from when we was all at school. My favourite used to be the chocolate concrete. I know a lot of people like Manchester tart or the treacle sponge, and then there's the sponge cake with the icing and sprinkles. So these are half cooked, so I'm going to drain some of the liquid because the liquid from this is gorgeous. They went back in for a bit, and now I'm just putting some honey on to crisp them up and a bit of flavour. Not too much, just put some across the top. A nice crispy roast potatoes. Chicken was finished with the honey and the vegetables as well. Don't forget, guys, leave me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like the video. It does make a huge difference. So here's the chocolate caramel bars or toffee bars, whichever way you want to call it. You must line the pan that you use because of the caramel. You'll pay for it if you don't. So it's been in the fridge. It's all set up now. There you go. Kids absolutely love these. And they're not hard to make at all. So that is what we had this week, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stick with us this week. Let me know in the comments, like I say, about the meals for Wednesday. And thumbs up, notification bell, share it if you can, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.